All right, let me fix the lens. Looks like the lens is dirty here. I'm gonna turn down the radio, fix the lens. All right, looks like we're in business. All right, I think I'm gonna have to like turn the car around because the image that I'm getting in, I don't like it. It's very weird. I mean, it's usually not this dark. I mean, it's broad daylight, and let me just turn the car around. All right, there we go. There we go. It looks better from this angle, right? It definitely looks better. All right, fantastic. All right, guys. So, welcome back to the channel. How you doing, guys? How are you? It's Monday, the beginning of the week. Happy Monday to every single one of you that's watching right now. And please, if you're joining me from somewhere, announce yourself in the comment section. Let me know where you're watching from. Give the video a thumbs up. Then we'll talk about a lot of stuff today. So I'm gonna keep you guys updated on the trip, and everything else that's going on. And there's also multiple things that I would like to address and talk to you guys about. Maybe it will help you get an idea of certain things that some of you are considering to do in terms of doing business in Congo. Mario's from Kenya. Welcome to the channel, brother. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Shout out to all the Kenyans out there. I love Kenya, man. That's one of the country on my bucket list that I would love to visit in the very near future. So I probably will start doing a lot of travelings too across Africa, so I get to like, explore and learn more about other countries that are out there. Because I can just not limit myself to DRC. DRC is where I'm doing my stuff, is where I'm running a farm and everything. But I would also like to explore and maybe learn about other neighboring African countries and see what their farming sectors look like. But thank you guys, man. Thanks again, Marios from Kenya. I really appreciate it. And if there's, a way you can hit that like button, and that will also go a long way with the YouTube algorithm, and that will really help the channel get some, value. And I will really appreciate it. Oh, thank you guys. Thanks again. So I'm back here. Please let me just hang out here for a second and allow more people to join the chat, and then we'll get to discuss what I got on, what I have in mind. So, but if you don't mind, in the meantime, so how's your weekend? I mean, how was your weekend, and how's your week going so far? So you guys done anything uh interesting over the weekend, and how's the beginning of the week is treating some of you guys? For me, I spent last weekend over at a friend's house. He had a little event in his backyard. We went out there to support him. There was some food, there was some drinks. Well, of course, we hung out with friends. We really had a great time. So, I left around almost midnight. I went home, slept. Yesterday, I was at the church. Actually, I was gonna go live yesterday right after church, but I was caught up with some other things that I'm doing, and I needed to get something done online, so it didn't really give me enough time to focus on going live and stuff. So I figured today's Monday, and probably everybody's at work right now, but those of you that's available, so I'm still hanging out here and wait till you guys get on the chat, and then we'll just get this started. All right, I'm gonna just chill for a minute. I'll give it a couple more seconds. As soon as we hit 5 minutes, then we're ready to rock and roll. All right, we got 15 more seconds. All right, come on, guys, give me the thumbs up. Show your boys some love. Give me, thumb this video up if you with me, and of course if you love farming and stuff. All right, guys. So here let's get this rolling. It's 5 minutes. We're not gonna wait for anybody else. So those that's gonna join the chat, and then they'll be more than welcome to join us. All right, guys. So give me a thumbs up. Let me know where you're watching me from, and I will really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's jump straight to today's live stream. Okay, I talked to you guys about my trip update last live stream I did, which I believe was last Sunday. I told you guys that I was supposed to fly to Kinshasa in May 21st. I'm sorry, in April 21st, but something came up at the very last minute at my job, so I needed to attend an event, which I did, and now everything is fine, is under control. I'm good to go. So I had to call Ethiopian Airlines to change the date. It sucks that they had to charge me over $300 to make the modification, but it is what it is because everybody's doing business, right? So my trip is set for May 7th, which is this coming Sunday. I I catch my flight out of Newark International Airport. And then I will, make it to Kinshasa the very next day, which is Monday, May 8th at 6 p.m. in Kinshasa time. So back in the United States, it will be like around 12 p.m. or so, just in case you're not very, very familiar with the timing and stuff. All right, this is Otto from Columbus, Ohio. Oh, brother, thank you very much, for joining the chat, and I really appreciate it. So give me a thumbs up, and I will also appreciate it. Hey, man, I can't believe how fast this YouTube channel is starting to grow, man. I'm getting viewers from the United States. I'm getting viewers from many part of the world. So I got Kenyan in the building. I got, Americans in the building. Hey, where are all my European folks, man? So it's only you guys that are now in the chat right now. So I got two continents so far, which makes my heart joyful. I got America and I got Africa. Look at that. All right, that's the connection right there. And that's, by the way, one of the things that we need to do. We need to connect Africa and America. This has to happen because we have a lot of similarities and a lot of background, a similar background that bring us close together in terms of even doing businesses and maybe, partly, starting some partnerships in the future or whatnot. So I think this is really going to help us both win, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, brother, give me a thumbs up and I will really appreciate it. So, okay, guys, I told you guys I was scheduled to fly on the 21st. Work-related issue, preventing me from, going. I had to attend an event on the 25th. I did attend the event. It went out, it went smoothly. I, ended up calling Ethiopian Airlines after everything cleared out to reschedule my trip, which cost me over, $300, but it is what it is. Everybody's doing business or so. And I also got my own things I probably do to make up for the, 300 and almost 50 bucks that they charge me to just modify the date. But it's all good. So everything is ready to go. All my bags. I got a couple things that I still got to throw in my bags and seal them up. Then I'm good to go. But like as we speak right now, guys, I am very, very excited to go back home to the pig barn that was completed because I shared with you the experience, the process until the completion. So I am so excited that for the very first time, I'm about to go see the projects for myself. And of course, you guys know I'm going to share that with you as well. So that's not the only reason I'm going to Congo. Otherwise, that would be stupid. I'm just not going to fly all the way there to just go see the completion. No. Or celebrate or whatever. No. What I'm going there for, that one is already there. I know, okay, now I can import, well, not import, but I can go to like local, pig barns or local places to purchase more pigs. What I already have available right now, I'm good with it because one of the pigs that I purchased, I believe, a couple of weeks after the completion, it had already been, bred. So now it's pregnant. It's got like, we're not sure because my guy that takes, care of the barn told me that the seller had told him that the pig had just been bred, but he did not give him the exact date. So he keeps an eye on to know exactly when the pig is going to be due. So at this point, they just have to be more careful, how the pig behaves. So when that time comes, people are there to assist it if it needs some assistance. Because another thing you got to keep in mind, when the pig is about to give birth, you need to have somebody permanent there to make sure they remove the piglets, so they don't end up getting eaten. Because sometimes these pigs, they have a tendency of eating their own piglets after giving birth, if they were not of I don't know, if they did not eat earlier, that could happen. I mean, there's also some other reasons. I don't know if there are some other scientific explanation behind it, but that's something I might probably need to find out. But as far as I know, I mean, the piglets needs to be kept safe from their mother after being born, and then maybe like a couple, minutes or hours or so later, that you can bring them back together. So that's just the one concern that we have. And I also learned that one of the female pigs that I already had from my original place. Remember, my pigs used to stay at a friend's place, and then when the barn was complete, we moved them onto the farm. So those that I already had originally from the beginning, and one of them had just gotten bred with one of the younger boar that I have on the farm. I was actually making jokes with my guys because they sent me a video, right, of the younger male pig trying to like climb on the top of the female pig, who was a little taller than he was, which was pretty funny, by the way. I might probably have to share that little piece of clip with you. It was pretty funny. But the funny thing is, the little boy was able to pull it off. Like, it literally climbed on the top of the female pig and made it happen. So I'm very glad, and I can't wait to get there and say congratulations in person to the pig, because he's got enough balls to actually run around on this gigantic, not like too big, but like a little more taller species than you are. So I give him that. I was trying to be sarcastic there, but you get the point right there. You know what I mean? So that's the one thing. So another thing also is I talked to you guys about chicken farm. I talked to you about poultry farming. I'm going to be building, well, actually, I'm going to be hiring a contractor to build the chicken house. Okay. All right, Mbote, how you doing, man? It's been a long time. Glad to see you again on the chat. So please let me know where you're watching from in the comment section below. That will really mean a lot. So this guy that my friend shared his information with me, he builds, chicken houses, like, around the city and stuff. So now I have his personal phone number. We've been in touch for the past couple of weeks. Can't wait to bring him on board. So he told me to just let him know whenever I'm in Kinshasa, it'll come out and I'll take him down to the farm, and he will, look at the space and look at the location where the pig barn is already built, and find a strategic location within the farm where he can build a chicken house. So I'm not sure how much money that's going to cost, but from the start, I already told him I'm not looking for anything fancy. That's going to cost me a lot more money. But I want something that is not poorly built either, but something that is decent, that's going to last a very, very long time while. And okay, guys, and then that's also another thing we also need to keep in mind. Okay, when you're getting into agriculture, you don't always have to spend way more money right off the bat. You can take your time. Okay, you need to do as much research as you can possibly do to make sure to eliminate certain expenses, so that you start, it doesn't really cost you as much. But then eventually, when you start making profits, then you may probably upgrade your structures, or and everything else around the farm. And I'm learning this every step of the way through other farmers that I watch, through other people that have been farming for a very long time, and plus like new people that I'm just meeting, through other networks of friends and other um, acquaintances that I know from back in the day. You know what I mean? And there are even some people that are on my inbox, that are on my phone, my phone contacts, that I've known for a very long time, and I didn't even know that they were into farming and things like that until recently. I get introduced. I'm like, wait a minute, I know this guy we used to talk, but I never knew he had some farming background, those type of things. So that really makes my heart feel joyful, and at the same time, I'm just thinking that there is a lot more that we could do together to help each other. All right. One of the examples I have to give you, when I said that you need to start trying to find a way to eliminate as much expenses as possible, because the last thing you want to do is that you pour way too much money into starting your investments, whether it is in farming, then eventually you really don't get the positive results as fast as you would expect. Then you start stressing out over, oh my God, how am I going to get this money back? I spent way too much money on this. Like, for me personally, the pig barn, what I've spent so far on it, that's probably the, I wouldn't say the most I will ever spend on my farm, but I would say at least at this point, moving forward, within like the next couple of years, that's probably like the highest amount of money I can tolerate, having spent on the farm. So I've learned so many things, throughout the building, because when it comes down to pigs are very type of animal. They're a different type of animal. Pigs, sometimes just like human beings. Animals get pissed off. Animals, they fight. So pigs is one of those animals. If you don't really have a good, structures put together, and when it gets mad, it might break out of the structures, and this is really serious. So by like having the concrete on the floor, and with the breaking structures, so they're not going anywhere. And that's why you need to spend a little bit more when you're building a pig structures. But when it comes down to like chickens and all of that, you don't need that. Because from my childhood memories that I have from raising chickens, if you guys remember from my last live stream, I shared that with you, probably my previous videos and stuff, right? That it was like a normal, wooden building materials that were used with some other local like building materials, and then they put them together, and the chicken structure was just fine, because chicken, it's a bird. I mean, these birds ain't gonna break out in no place. As long as you have a door and you just make sure their structures is, you're good to go. So that is what I have on mind. That's what I have in mind right now. I'm not gonna build like another brick structures for the chicken alone. But one thing I have to invest in at this point will be collecting water, collecting rainwater. I have to build something, and then this is another thing that I also wanted to talk to you guys about. So if you guys remember, I've always told you about the borehole. It's been on my mind. It's a project, like one of the biggest projects that I actually had thought to do, before the end of 2023, and it still is. But the problem with that is, where my farm is located is in the area that they generally call Plateau Bateke. So in Plateau de Bateke, in those area, it's very different from the rest of Kinshasa, right? When this group of engineers that I had hired to conduct studies to, explore how far deep down the water was, could be found, and see, the estimate how much it was going to cost to build the borehole and everything. Well, what I originally thought it was going to cost is way outside of my price like range, what I had originally thought. It's way too much that I can't even think of doing it like right this moment. That's not going to be possible. Like I'm talking about, according to these guys, it's like 250 meters down. That's the distance where water is going to be found. And according to the guy, he said that they will bring some machinery because apparently there is a concrete like further down that needs to be broken. And he gave me a bunch of explanations. But to cut a long story short, that was going to cost between 25 to 27,000 US dollars to just get that done. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Okay, I can use that money to build more structures within the farm. I can use that money to build a really good solid place where we can collect rainwater and probably buy like filters to filter water to make sure that we have really good and potable, well, rainwater that's still clean for the animal, just for the animal consumption, because it's by no means human would consume that. I don't know how much you guys know about all this stuff, but it's just something new that I'm learning, because I also picked up a book where it was talking about collecting rainwater for homesteads and farming generally speaking. And this book has given me a lot of good insights and the system that is used to connect that and to just to build the structures where you can collect rainwater. This is very important. So that is something that I am highly considering to do. As soon as I touch down, that's one of the first priorities that I got on mind right now, because water is really important. Pigs get, oh, they have to take bath. I think it's they have to shower every, I think it's either every other day or every 2 days, something like that. But regardless of what the case it is, but it's necessary to have water on the farm. All right. Oh, small pound. From Congo, but living in Sweden. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember now. All right, thanks, man. Thanks for tuning in. This really means a lot. I'm here. We could discuss and have these conversations, and see how we can help each other out. So, if you guys are watching and you own a farm, if you have some water system that you came up with, please let me know in the comment section below, because I would also love to learn more. Regardless of the research that I'm personally conducting, we can also help each other. If somebody out there or somebody's watching right now, they own a farm or they know somebody that have like some other strategies that they've used to collect rainwater, please let me know in the comment section below. I'm willing to learn more about that other than just my own personal research. So I'm open to learning new styles, new things that's going to benefit me and the farm. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that I'm doing. I'm not saying that I will never get the borehole done on the farm, but for now, it's not a priority anymore, given how much money it's going to cost to build one within the farm. I'm glad that I already have the estimates, which I'm going to keep safe somewhere, make sure I hide it. Maybe, God forbid, I have way more than I can afford now. Maybe, probably, I will do it, but right now I know there's a lot of farms around that's only functioning through rainwater collection and some other strategies that they use locally. One of them, I'm actually in the process of doing that. That's also going to cost a little bit, but we were thinking about maybe purchasing tanks and have them set up somewhere near the pig-borne structures, so when it rains, the gutter just pushes the water all the way down to the tanks. And I would just have that maybe create like a new system where they have a bucket and make a faucet or something like that, so we could collect water way more easily, and just to have availability of water until we figure some other things out. And it looks like this, I don't know, this practice actually works for a lot of local farmers that are in the surrounding area. And of course, I'm gonna be going to like other and visiting local farms, so I can just get an idea what they're doing that I might also incorporate into my farm and things like that. So back to poultry farming. So I was telling you, I have this contractor who's gonna build the chicken house onto my farm. It's a guy that's well known. I've asked around. and a lot of people know it. Even friends that's here in the States that grew up in that area, they know him by his name. So it's pretty known. So I'm sure, and I know it's gonna bring quality work, because a friend of mine that I grew up with is also into farming. He had told me the same thing. So this guy is apparently, he's a legend. He really knows what he's doing. So that's one other thing that I would like to do, because coming from like have already having an experience of growing, of like raising chickens, I know poultry farming is another lucrative business that you can get yourself into. And one thing about farming, agriculture in general, it is knowing what you are doing. As long as you know what you are doing and you're very confident of your own practice, whatever works for you, that's what you're going to go for. Don't just sit there and expect to do things perfectly the exact same way as other people that you're seeing out there. Because keep in mind, we're all getting into this, uh, industry with different expectations. Okay, some people, they have they have more money than they can spend. Some people have to depend on their salary, just like me, right? Everything you've seen so far on my farm didn't come from a loan, didn't come from anything. It basically comes straight from my paychecks. I'll pay the bills, I take a cut and send it, and have the projects builds. And that's basically what I've been doing for the past year and a couple of months, and I'm going to continue to do that. I spend way more on fencing the farm, so I know my limits. Even I believe that it was poorly built. Let me just be honest with about that. When I look at it, it doesn't really make me feel good. But the only thing is, as long as it provides some sort of security, I'm fine with that. But I wanted something much more, a lot better than that. I didn't need to spend as much as I did on fencing. I could have just used wood too to fence it all up. That could have been used, but again, we learn every step of the way. Now that I know that, I'm not gonna do anything as far as like fencing like right now. That's not in the list of priorities. I'm just going to have to focus on building the chicken house, then eventually the goat house, and then see how quickly the farm is growing. Then maybe when the farm starts generating some income, I will look into fencing, like a much better one that I have envisioned that I would do. But since that one is temporary, it was meant to be permanent, but like at this point, I'm considering it's a temporary structure that we have, because I should have something better looking than what this guy I hired had provided. I'm no way, shape, or form saying or trashing him, saying that he did a horrible job, because we all were there, helped. Excuse me, or helped this fencing happen. But I just think that it should have done better than what he did. That's all I'm trying to say. Plus, the materials cost a little bit more, whereas I could have spent way less and probably get much better quality work for what I have now available. But that's not bothering me, because it helped. If it kept the animals outside of my farm, those that used to come through and eat all my crops, and so be it. And that's fine with me, because I had decided that I wasn't really going to be growing crops like that on the farm anyway. So for me, it's really not on the list of priorities right now. I might still grow like corn and maybe some other crops just to feed the animals, but it's never going to be like a more something that I expect to make money off of. Like my main focus on the farm, it is animal raising, because through animal raising, chances of production and increase of production is really, really high, because you have animals that multiply, you have animals that give birth, And the more they give birth, the more animals you have on the farm, and you just have to keep up with the feeds. And because the more we having them, like the more activities we will have on the farm, so that way the farm doesn't always have to be dependent on me to send the money for the pig feeds or whatever. That's why I'm working on some other activities within the farm that's going to also finance other things, whether it is like pig feeds and some other stuff for maybe a 3 or 4 months period, while waiting for another season to maybe grow some other things to just provide to the animal, so that there is no lack of food or lack of feed within the farm. So in all of this, there's just strategies that must be undertaken, because if you're not really paying attention to what's happening around the farm, it's only going to make it much more difficult for you to manage. And that's one of the problems that many people have when the growth starts to occur. People freaks out. People freak out. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to expect anymore because they did not plan it ahead of time. That's why it's better to prepare yourself when you're still small. There is nothing wrong with starting small. And that's another thing that I had mentioned earlier. Like, people expect to get into this business and just boom, go right ahead and start making money. No, brothers and sisters, that's not how it works, unfortunately. Unless if you like own like 50% of like a major company that is like globally known, and that's a whole different thing. You can just go in there, invest millions of dollars. But we're talking about like small time farmer who are just trying to grow, and you create opportunities for those that don't have one, and also make sure that things are run smoothly for the next generation. We're trying to inspire each other through farming, because I believe if you farm properly in any given African country, you should be financially stable and not needing to be back in Europe or the West in general for anything. You could just be comfortable as you are wherever part of the world you are right now. Those of you that are watching for elsewhere or other places, I've used my being here in America as an opportunity to start something in Congo. You know what I mean? Of course, it took me a little while to figure some other things out, and also it also comes with the age. The older you get, the more mature you become, and wisdom comes a long way too. You start seeing things differently, because I keep asking myself, okay, am I going to continue to go after paychecks every week or every other week, or am I going to create something so I don't have to worry about going to work back and forth every single day and expecting a paycheck the next week? You know what I mean? I would rather like be broke, knowing that I'm broke right now because I don't have anything on my in my pockets, but I'm looking at least 100 or even $200,000 just sitting on the farm, because I know I got 10, maybe 100 or more than 100 goats in there, or I have like more than 200 pigs in there, or I have like more than like 1,000 birds in there. That makes you feel great, because if you just make it sell one week, like every a couple of one of these animals here and there, the money is there on your pockets, and you're not going to worry about the number going down, because these animals are continuing to multiply. Okay. And once I realized that, there are like certain things that I used to care about, like buying pair of Jordans and all this, nice shoes and stuff. Like, they don't mean anything to me anymore. But like, I'm thinking about like a $250 pair of Jordan. I could buy, I don't know, maybe 20 bags of cement to build something on my farm. And when I started thinking like that, it helped me out a lot, because I know my money is going to a good use. I may not have it available in my pockets as I'm sitting here, but I have it invested somewhere, which going to lead to even more cash eventually in the future. So that's how we have to think. And make no mistake, the world is not what it used to be anymore. The world is changing, and it's changing way faster than we originally thought, than most of us are thinking. We are seeing the global shifts happening. And as Congolese and young African who's just using his brain to sustain myself, so when like crazy things happen, I don't have to complain about anything. And those things, you plan them ahead of time. We're living through moments that is very critical, very, very critical. And it takes every single one of your engagement and awareness to wake up and do something about it before you fall a victim. Because we know what has happened throughout history: inflation, collapse, and many different things. It always affects like the middle class or, you know, just ordinary people. But like rich people, they still maintain their status. And the only way to reach this type of upper class status that we're talking about is through doing business. You were never going to become rich or make crazy amount of money, all right, working for someone, getting a paycheck. Don't get me wrong. Go out there, get your education. Go get a job. Use that experience. Make as much as you can. Save as much as you can. But keep in mind, you need to have something saved up somewhere to start an investment in any area of your interest. It doesn't have to be farming, because the way the world is moving, it's really not that good. It's not looking too good right now. But those of us that are very comfortable with the Western lifestyle, all these things are going away little by little. So before, we found ourselves in a situation where you just like, oh crap, I didn't see this happen, because you didn't pay close attention. Okay? I'm not really into politics a lot like that, but I prefer to know at least what's going on in terms of, in terms of finance, in terms of, business around the world. So I know things to expect. And now that I am gotten myself involved into farming in Congo, and the money that I make here is going there to fulfill the projects that I have interest in knowing, right, what exactly taking place right now. I have every reason to be more concerned about, economic hardships that some other people are going through. It concerns me because as a working class in America who pay taxes, I also expect to make something out of, what I also personally make. So therefore, going to Congo to start, a farm or start a business is the best way to go about it, because it gives you alternative, and you have way more opportunities right ahead of you. That's going to unlock some other, opportunities to just continue to excel. I don't agree with, oh, anything you do in Africa doesn't work. No, I do not agree with that. It depends on you, what you're doing, the discipline that you're putting through your work and your investments. Because if you know the consequences of, going there and failing, you are going to be just as careful to make sure that that doesn't happen. And that's what most of us have been doing. Because with all of that in mind, I know a lot of risks are involved, but I mean, nothing ventured, nothing gained. We got to take those risks. It takes individual with boldness to walk in a place and make themselves stand out. And diasporans in the West, we have advantage over a lot of locals out there. There are people who have probably way more, that are more ambitious as some of us here, but they're a limit because they don't have the available fund to finance their projects. But we do have that option, at least from our jobs, based off of what we make here. It may not mean anything here in the West, but it definitely means a lot in Africa. That's why in one of my videos I say, like, it doesn't cost you a lot of money to get started small in most African countries, especially in Congo. It doesn't really cost you a lot of money like that to get anything going. But you have to be willing to do that in order for you to collect something from it. You just can't sit there and just expect everything to fall out of the sky. You need your efforts to make sure that happens too. You need to put forth effort. If you're willing to put effort, you will see the results later on. It takes some time to start seeing some positive results, but you have to start first. That's where we are. All right, let me see if there's any comments here in the live chat. Okay, so we're good here on the comment side. Comments here. All right. All right, guys. So I'm very, very excited about my trip to Congo. I'm very, very excited about my trip to Congo this Sunday. Monday, May 8th, I will be in Kinshasa. Man, I cannot wait. I would definitely document my experience, and I will make sure I'll share with you everything that I will do there. And then I get an idea. The things that I learned, of course, I will share that with you guys. Everything I learned, I will share that with you. And also, please make sure you share your knowledge in the comment section too, because we're learning from one another. I am no expert in farming. I'm not no expert in agriculture, nothing like that. I'm just a regular guy who's more interested in farming, who wants to be like a full-time farmer in the future, and a very successful one, because I know it's possible. I can pull that off in Kinshasa. I just need a little more time and support, just like you guys watching my videos right now. It lets me know that I'm not on this alone, and we're all in this together, and your support is going to keep me going. Continuing to come back to watch my videos and subscribing and, you know, hitting the like button, it's all is only just motivating me more to continue to do videos like this, because sometimes we just need this type of motivation to keep ourselves going. You know what I mean? So I'll give you one quick example. Like me personally, when I'm like buying something like electronic or like for my camera, because, like, you know, I buy cameras to do my YouTube videos and stuff. Sometimes I may know what I really want to buy, but before I make the purchase, I watch as many reviews as I could possibly watch, and I will end up finding a very convincing one that's only going to accelerate my decision that I, you know, originally had, and go and make the purchase. So maybe there are people like that through these videos. When they see this, they know they have money, they know they want to go to invest, but like by coming across this video, it was just added something new to convince them to go and start something. I have people right now that found out about the channel that went and bought the land, and there's some people that I'm still in communication with that I was able to convince some people, and people went and purchased lands, and even those that got lands through my connects, through my networks, and that makes me feel great. And I don't charge people nothing. The people, like, through me, you don't have to worry about none of that stuff, because I'm not into like, hey, you know, you need to give me this. No, we're here to help each other. If somebody offer me something, I'm not going to turn it down out of respect, but from the jump, I'm not going to ask you for no money. I mean, if there's something that I can help with, I'm more than glad, willing to do that, because I know there are so many people back home, they don't think the same way we think here. Here in the West, we see things differently. There's a certain speed that we expect things to, you know, take place, especially when we're in Africa, even though that's not always the case. But dealing with somebody that don't see things the same way you do, and especially that had like someone that has never been out here in the West, you were never going to be on the same page on a lot of things. But like when someone like me coming from here, going there, and I feel for all of us, because I know how hard it is to earn your money here in the West. I'm not going to mess around with nobody. And I'm not going to sit there and watch somebody getting screwed over when I knew I could just step in and prevent that from happening. I could just step in and just provide the help so that that person is satisfied. Because the last thing I want to all of you that watch my YouTube videos to go there, have a bad experience, and turn around and be like, you know what, I don't want to go to Congo anymore. This is bullshit, and I'm just gonna look, as somewhere else. I don't want that. I want the best experience possible, even if it means getting in contact with me while I'm on the ground, trying to see to verify certain things. I'm willing to do that at no cost at all. Of course, when I have time to do that, I will, gladly do it, because I also got my own personal things that I have to take care of. It's going to keep me busy, but at the same time, when I have extra time, of course, I'm going to work on things. So I make sure that we all have our lanes, we all have good experience to keep us continue to invest more and going even back and forth. That is the goal. That's the objective of doing all of this. And I started this YouTube channel to serve that exact same purpose. And I'm glad that now people are subscribing. I'm glad that now people are, enjoying the channel so much, and that makes me continue to, put out videos like this. Even though I haven't been able to like upload regular videos like I always do, just because I'm so stressed out with packing bags and getting the everything ready for the trip. It's really, really draining. I mean, it's really draining the hell out of me. I can't wait until this is over with. I can't wait to get on the airplane and fly out of here already. Okay, there are so numerous things that I'm going to be doing in Kinshasa. So keep those alerts turned on. I'll stay tuned and share these videos with friends, family members, and other relatives too, including your acquaintances and stuff. Because I'm sure there are people out there who are, interested in probably Congolese YouTube creator or farming stuff, whatever, right? So that we can have a greater audience, a platform where we all can connect and talk about way more important stuff. All right. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. This really, really means a lot. It helps my channel grow, seeing you coming back always to watch my video. Please make sure to give me a thumbs up and share this video with a friend. And I advise you stay tuned, because Sunday I will probably go live as I'm going through the airport, or maybe while I'm in the airport, I'll go live, and so I can show you guys. Of course, there'll also be some, other video, because I'm in Kinshasa, farming and doing my stuff for my projects. Great, but I also have a life. I also have family. I also have friends. Sometimes I go out with friends. Sometimes I go out with my family, sister, my brothers, right? We'll be going to Congo Central, that's for sure. I'll be in Mwanda, most likely in Boma too. And you guys know I'm just not going to sit there and without you seeing what's happening there, right? So it's going to be like a little getaway, and I'll document everything. I'll share all of my experience with you guys. All right. So thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate you all. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and all that good stuff. So thank you for hanging out with me. I'll see you next time. Peace out. Have a fantastic rest of your day.